All right, we should be getting into it soon.
Yep.
Looks like the boys are giving their thumbs up. Ike and Wolf, the whole set. Yeah, I don't really see Stock changing off of Wolf for this. I know he's very confident in how well his Wolf can manage against Ike. It's how Stock has managed to keep positive in their matchups in the past. Villager deals all right, but
Palu
probably does better than Villager, but I wouldn't say better than Wolf. Only because this has actually been a recent debate amongst our friend group, the idea of who's doing better in that matchup. It's worth noting that Soan is very confident in the Palutena matchup, and he's adapted to the point where he thinks it may potentially be even, which arguably a hot take. I don't really know the discourse between other Ike mains, but being even against Palu is definitely a bold claim and something that he's proven in the past, having wins on DeBuzz's Palu.
Well, here's the real question. What about Wii Fit? How's that matchup?
I think Sona's not concerned about Wii Fit. Wolf is probably the biggest thing that he has to worry about out of Stock's entire arsenal, as it's his most well-practiced character and probably the best matchup-wise. Wolf has no problem with locking down Ike at the ledge, can rack up plenty of damage, and causes very awkward situations when it comes to returning to the ledge.
Speaking of Ike at the ledge, Stock has owned the stage since since Go.
Yeah, and you're going to see plenty of that. Like, really, once Ike manages to break through and hold, more specifically, the plats than anything else, like, Soan will be in a more comfortable position. But so long as the ledge belongs to StockTaker, it's almost guaranteed that these Wolf stocks are going to be staying pretty as the Ikes start to dwindle. His first blood is broken in favor of StockTaker.
What an up tilt. But that was a quick retaliation. Wow.
Yeah. You're going to see a lot of those. That's kind of the story of Ike. Yeah, he might get juggled, and he might have unfortunate stocks due to how linear his movement is and how he doesn't really have any super fast burst options. Outside of Aether, really. And even Aether is pretty questionable. That's not alley-oops like that.
Well, you were talking about Clim Hazard before. It's the same logic, right?
In a way, but it's not nearly as safe as Clim Hazard, and you definitely can get a bigger punish, especially in this situation. Wolf loves to pick apart anyone with a good amount of end lag. We've been seeing a ton more Wolf Flash from StockTaker as of late, and I'm loving it. I feel like this is like a parting gift from the West Coast Wolves. Because ever since Stock came back home from Nightmare on Smashville, I've been seeing him put out like a lot more aggressive movement, and he's been a lot more confident with his recoveries. Two qualities you'll love to see on a Spacey, considering that they usually have pretty mixy movement, but Spaceys themselves have fairly linear recovery.
Smashville really had that much of an impact on Stock?
I think so. I mean, he spoke very highly of the scene. He said he had a good time.
Living past 200. Kudos to Soan on that one.
We were talking earlier about what his record is for staying alive on a stock. I think he mentioned 209, 213, something like that. Maybe you can break it in this. This is it's been a very long time since we've had a full Gen Game Grand Finals.
This is true.
They gotta be early days of Ultimate since the last time we've seen these two duking it out as top two.
Before the city started like heavily invading.
Even before everyone else caught up. And even at that, it's been a very long time since we've seen Ike in general. After MK Leo had moved on from Ike to Lucina to Joker, and now whichever character he decides. The only times we've ever really seen Ike in any relevant positioning in tournament would be from, I would say, Mars. Mars is an excellent pocket Ike.
Well, Soan, of course, continues to champion the character.
Yeah, Soan, although, as of recent, being more in the forefront, he's always been a bit quiet as far as how often he plays because he's just a busy individual for one reason or another. But time for him to flex his know-how in another matchup as the Wii Fit trainer comes back up, as you correctly predicted.
Which, I mean, Wii Fit has such a weird way of playing compared to the rest of the cast, with the hitboxes, with the playstyle.
At the end of the day, it's still a aggro zoning character. Like, Stock gets a lot from staying just shy of sword range and by trying to aggressively take stage control. It's a uniform factor for all of his characters, despite how different they're all played. Although the difference here is that we're probably going to see Soan play a little bit more defensively whenever Sun Salutation and Deep Breathing are brought together, just because there's so much potential for an early kill off of those.
That back air is going to take the stock, but Deep Breathing is also on board, so this could seal out really quick.
Yeah, this is one of the situations where Ike's weight really comes to bless him. That coupled with good DI, as this isn't the first time that Soan has had to fight the entire StockTaker medley.
Hey, how many people can say they successfully won his Wii Fit money match?
Not many. I know he has a very good track record.
I thought the soccer ball hit him.
The hairball doesn't have that much priority, and it's good for extending some hitboxes, but it's not as insane as you'd see from a lot of highlight clips. It's definitely like a rare occurrence where you see it have a very active role.
And then we got both
kill.
stock and...
Not for long. Like I said, man, Deep Breathing, Sun Salutation, everything that she needs.
Yeah. Stock has proven, though, he can hold on to a bit of a stock as well. 125 combined with the healing of Deep Breathing and Sun Salutation.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to keep up with those percentages, as they're going to be pretty variable given the nature of Wii Fit's tools. Like, once complete stage control is given to StockTaker, he's going to go for Deep Breathing. He'll get his Sun Salutation at some point. Ball rolling back to hit Soan. Hilarious.
Is up throw to forward air true? I thought up throw to up air was the true combo.
The percentages are so high right now that I don't really know how much is going to end up being true. Especially considering that, like, Stock is constantly in flux between having his buffs, not having his buffs, having a stock, not having a stock.
But somehow this game's evened itself back out. Which, if I remember last game, Stock had a bit of a runaway at the beginning, right?
But Soan kept it pretty steady in his control.
This is incredible.
I think more of the problem here isn't the character pick per se, but like Soan is so well practiced in trying to break through these unorthodox zoning patterns of Stock. Now, like, it doesn't matter which character Stock picks, outside of maybe Banjo, where Soan has such a concrete idea of what he needs to avoid and what he can challenge.
I forgot about Banjo. Has Soan played his Banjo yet?
Very briefly in friendlies. I know Soan was starting to come back as Banjo was hitting the forefront. And a bit of a sigh of despair from StockTaker as Game 2 goes into Soan's favor.
Because I was talking with Stock earlier about and bringing up Banjo, and he said he probably wasn't going to bring out his Banjo for a bit because it's become so rusty.
Which is a fair statement.
But maybe we'll get it out of desperation? I don't know. What do you really pick in this instance? Everything's been close.
He's keeping Wii Fit on the board. I respect him for sticking to his guns, especially with the switch to Town and City, as it gives him a better setting for what's needed. But all the momentum sitting in Soan's favor, and we might really be looking at a 3-0 finish. An almost unprecedented return to form for Soan.
Hey, sometimes the blurst bracket works out in your favor.
Yeah, you know, I was bringing this up with Face and Mulk earlier in today's top 8, but it's been a hell of a bracket tonight.
Yeah, this
From DQs to upsets to, like, the people who are here, the amount of people, everything culminating in such a interesting top 8.
I think this is probably the most blurst I've seen this brackets in Smash 4. Like, slightly before the paradigm shift when it was Cyber and Ippo turning into Stock and all the people you expect now.
That's a ways ago. That's many moons.
Although,
you know, to the note of bringing up Ghosts of the Past, Cyber has definitely had a heavy hand in orchestrating today's awkward bracket. And let me just, up smash actually low profiled the header ball. Not even effective in keeping the stock any longer than he could have tried, but just beautiful.
That's a combo right there. Beautiful combo. But even, like I was saying before, Aeon top 8s, especially after Ultimate came out, have been relatively consistent. You'll get Stock, you'll get Suarez, you'll get some combination of PK Chris, now Zenkai, now Mojo, and then City players.
And the City are doing a great job of showing up. It's just that today it brought together such an awkward bracket that ZTN and Venia just weren't able to stay up to snuff. Additionally, keep a note like the heavy hitters who aren't in bracket today. Raptor's absent from today's bracket as he DQ'd himself. Kofi nowhere to be seen. Mr. E having been traveling to Overlords, I believe, is the Florida tournament.
And then, is DeBuzz still LI, or?
No, he lives on the edge of New York now.
Okay.
But still, it's the point that like all these heavy hitters are just absent.
Oh.
And the ones who are around all had to duke it out with each other so early on.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the down air and the dash attack that just happened?
Yeah, it keeps it a tie game, and that's what these guys are used to. Like, the pressure's on, but they've been in this situation time and time again. I would have loved to have seen the spike. Yeah, the ball kept the advantage going. You'll love to see it.
After the parry, I thought that changed the ball to your side.
Parry, I don't believe, has an impact on it. You need to actually, like, hit it.
The soccer ball is probably the most confusing thing about Smash Ultimate to me. Even Smash 4.
The header ball is... It may be the tip of the iceberg when it comes to oddities in Ultimate. Yeah, a very weird game if you watch enough of it.
Oh, of course, but I don't know. Somehow I feel like I've acclimated to a lot of the oddities of Ultimate, except for soccer ball.
If that's the worst problem that you've got,
that's probably
count your
thing.
blessings. If someone were a real one, he would have just gone for the Aether kill. He would have ended this night out in the cheesiest fashion possible. Instead,
we got dash attack.
Not killing just yet. Oh, header ball. I bumped into
the soccer ball saved him. No.
Oh, Stock's not happy with it, but...
And to end out this blurst bracket with a blurst Stock. Ridiculous.
Stock's going to lose it out to his teammate. Soan takes